All right, welcome back to the Elias Macko Show and the third hour of the program. We're doing something special in this third hour, and we're opening up our phone lines, by the way. So let me just give you the number, 514-790-0800, 514-790-0800. We also take your texts as well. And here's the topic. I want to know from you if you have any questions about how Quebec's consumer protection laws protect you. Now, we've had some modifications to the rules. New rules came into effect in May that affected the way restaurants can display tipping, even food delivery apps, also changed the way that prices in grocery stores need to be displayed. So with that in mind, we've asked Charles Tanguay to join us once again in studio. He's a spokesperson for Quebec's Office of Consumer Protection. Charles, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Elias.
So the last time you were here, we were having a discussion about the new rules, and I didn't mention phone numbers or anything like that, and I kept getting text messages from listeners, and they had common questions, and I said, you know what, we should do this as a segment and open up our phone lines, because I'm sure people have questions about how they're treated at the grocery store, at the restaurant, and what they should do if they notice something that's not that they feel is not correct, and also maybe get some more definitions on the law. So that's what we'll try and do with our listeners over the next little while. I want to start off though with the news out this week. I've seen it in a couple of places that the Quebec Consumer Protection Office has been sending out letters to grocery stores, to restaurants, and to the apps. What is the non-compliance you are seeing? What are the things, the parts of the law now and the updated law that these companies, restaurants, are not following?
Many groceries won't display the fact that this particular food item is taxable. Okay. That's a new rule. If it's taxable, you have to mention it on the labeling.
Okay, so we're talking about the price tag at the store, right? It has to say the taxes are applicable on the price.
Yeah, taxable.
Now, how big does that word taxable have to be? Like, is it micro, tiny print?
Yeah, I don't recall if it has to be this or that big, but it has to be there.
Gotcha. And by the way, I think it's an important thing that should be on the labels, because what we've seen in the last few years, shrinkflation, when a product becomes smaller at the same price. There have been products that have become so small that they're now taxable. Yeah. And, a year ago when the product was maybe 50 milliliters more, there was no tax, because that's how, like ice cream, for instance, if it's over 500 milliliters, there's no tax on the ice cream. Under 500 milliliters, you pay tax on it.
And who knows that?
Yeah, who knows that?
Not many people. So it's a good thing to know. Maybe you will change the format. You buy a bigger one to avoid the taxes. Yeah. The other one is when you have a rebate, there has to be also the regular price mentioned, and this was quite often absent.
Okay, so what businesses, they were just putting sale. Yeah. This is on sale. It's $5, and you would have no idea if it was $5.29 before or $7 or
$4.99.
Yeah, that's right, because they could put the sale price, but actually increase the price. You think you're getting a deal.
Yeah, that's
okay. So is that these are the problems that you outlined? Is it like all of the chains? Or is it you have bad actors? Like what do you...
For the tax things, it's most of the chains. Yeah. The other one, quite few. Okay. And there's also all kinds of, we could say small problems, but altogether it comes to a big problem because the new rules, they have been announced 6 months before getting in force. So they had time to adjust.
Okay, that's a great part. How much leeway do you give businesses, right? So they had lead up time before the law comes into effect. Yep. Now they've had weeks, almost a couple of months, right, since the law has been
May 7th.
May 7th. Okay, so they've had months now. Are you at the point where it's a warning letter, or is it, hey, you have to pay $3,000? It's a fine. Where are you at right now?
It's a warning letter, okay. And the next step would be fine.
Gotcha. What kind of fines are we talking about?
Oh, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but it can be thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars. Yep. Does it get applied to the specific store or the main corporate body? Where are you sending that fine to?
Well, it depends. Some stores have kind of a franchise
model,
franchise models,
yeah.
But we will certainly. This time we targeted the chains.
Gotcha.
Because they have to throw the information down their particular stores.
Let me go to our phone lines here. I'm going to go to Henry, who is in Snowden. Hi, Henry. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Hello. Thank you for this subject. I want to know, I'm not going to name the store, but everyone knows the store. A lot of people in Toronto call it the Tire because they don't want to say Canadian anymore. You know, if you've noticed, if you go to the store, there's no longer Canadian Tire. It just says our store, and it shows the strawberry or whatever it's supposed to be, a triangle.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so tell me about the store, what they're doing.
Okay, whenever they have a special, like in their flyers or whatever like that, they'll say regular price, like this week, a flashlight regular price, $30, on special for $10. The thing is it's the regular price is $14. It's like Sears used to do the same thing years ago. They would just inflate all their prices for the specials. And Canadian Tire has been doing this for years and years and years. An air pump, which usually sells for $27, they'll put it on special for $23 and say the value is like $39, the regular price. Remember the Bay used to get caught for their mattresses all the time. They'd say they were $1,600 and then end up in court because the regular price was $800, and they didn't sell any at
So Henry, listen, this is a great question. Does the law say anything about those stores? It says sale. They're putting the price. They're putting the sale price. They're not mentioning that actually 2 weeks ago it was only a few dollars more. They're saying you're saving $20 when you're really saving $3. What does the law say?
Yeah, the law says false, misleading rebate are forbidden, and it's in the consumer protection law. And it also they have the same with the competition law at the federal level. There have been prosecutions from the Bureau de la Concurrence, the Competition Bureau.
Yeah.
And actually there is a prosecution going on, a penal prosecution going on right now against Canadian Tires for
this?
For regular prices that doesn't exist, let's say, or that have been inflated to think of a better rebate
for Henry. And if he sees that, like he goes into any shop and he sees a situation like that, what's the proper thing to do to file a complaint? So let's say I see that, I said, hey, that's not right, this is a misleading sale that they're advertising. What do I do? What does a Quebecer do to signal that to your office?
In that specific case, it's difficult because you have the feeling that it is not a real rebate. But how can you be sure? It's difficult to build a proof about this. But you can phone in and make a complaint at the Office of Consumer Protection.
So in a case like this, would it more be you have to now try and make a case, like your investigators will have to show, like maybe they'll start going into the store and trying to build the case that store does it often?
Yeah.
That's what you do?
It takes months and months.
Gotcha.
Of monitoring prices on a specific store with specific articles, and it's a long shot.
Henry, does that answer everything that you wanted there on that front?
Well, it's not a question of a feeling. It's a fact, because all you have to do is look at the previous flyers, or you go to their website, you check the prices, you see the regular, like he said, some of the prices are inflated to the point where nobody buys it. So then when they do, like, this is what would happen with Hudson's Bay often, is that they would say, well, how many do you sell at this so-called $1,800 price? They go, we don't sell any.
Gotcha.
So that shows you that the price is inflated. But for the sale, they'll mark it in red as what you're, instead of being, like I bought a scale 3 years ago to weigh myself. Regular price was $14.99. I bought it for $9.99. And then when it's on special now, this year, they say $43 the regular price.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the shenanigans that can happen there. Henry, thanks for the call. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the answers and the steps to take if we want. That's the thing I want to know is one last thing.
Yeah.
Since a lot of us don't do anything about it because we figure it's too big. How come, what is it, la protection consommateur? Why don't they do it automatically?
Okay,
they must have people who...
That's a good question, Henry. We're going to answer that question on the flip side of traffic. How proactive the Consumer Protection Office can be in these situations, or do they have to rely on complaints? All right, welcome back to the Elias Macco Show. Charles Tanguay is with us this morning, and our phone lines are open. Charles is a spokesperson for the Office of Consumer Protection here in Quebec. And if you have any questions about how grocery stores display prices, the price accuracy policy, how restaurants have to calculate tipping, any of the new changes, if you've got a question, we do want to hear from you. So 514-790-0800. Now, Henry, who called us in the last half, he threw something at us before we had to go to break. And his question was for the Office of Consumer Protection, how proactive are you in your investigations? Or do you just you wait for a complaint to come in? How does that work?
Well, complaints are a big information piece. The system automatically brings up priorities based on complaints, but not only complaints. So we'll look to the gravity of the problem, the historical of the merchant, and the number of complaints, of course. But we could initiate an investigation from our own with no complaints even when, for example, the money, the amount of money implied is very high, and those type of criterias. But we have to say that we're maybe 130 employees.
Okay.
It's a very small organization at the governmental level.
Yeah.
So we have to prioritize because consumption is very vast.
It's hard. You can't cover everything, I imagine. But can I ask you, you're a governmental organization. Are you an independent body? Like, what part of the government? Are you in a part of a ministry? How does that work?
We're independent, but we relate to the Minister of Justice.
Okay, so So it's the Minister of Justice would be your closest ministerial connection as you go up the chain. Okay, got that. Let's go to Darlene. Darlene is in Chateauguay, and she's got a question. Hi, Darlene.
Hi, Elias.
Hi.
How are you? I spoke to you before.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thanks for calling back. What's your question for Charles?
Canadian Tire, they're famous for putting things on sale in their circular.
Yeah.
And when you go there, there's nothing.
Oh, no, it's not in stock.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting. And we, in the last half, we got another question about sales at Canadian Tire as well.
I've seen that often.
So, Darlene, let's see what Charles has to say about that. Okay. So it's on sale. You show up, they have no product. Is there any protection on that?
Well, the law said that if you advertise something on sale, you have to have a sufficient amount of items to answer the demand.
I know lawyers, they'll look at that word sufficient and they'll say, that could mean 1, could mean 10.
Unless you specify in the ad how many you had. I have 20 of these bicycles in store. But you have to say the number. Unless that, the merchant could be not found guilty if he proved that he hadn't, and he had no idea that this thing would be so popular, so he ran out. Or if he offered the consumer something equivalent at the rebate price. But you see, it's an article of the law that is a bit tricky.
This is another
hard
one
to enforce.
This is another one you'd have to build a case and prove it, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to prove that a particular store, they're doing this on purpose. They're purposely not getting the stock, and I guess you'd have to establish a pattern that they do it often.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. We call that door crashers or something like that.
Yeah.
You have only 2 television at this famous price.
But as long as it's, because I've seen ads where it's like, okay, it's a TV, $4.99, and they say minimum 5 per location. That's okay.
Yeah, that would be
okay.
Yeah.
Darlene, does that answer your question? Anything else you want to throw in there?
No, it does. And like you say, it's a catch-22.
Yeah, there you go, Darlene. Okay.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a great day, guys.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Okay, so I want to ask you, while I have you here, on the tipping front, right? Because part of the recent changes has to do with how tipping is calculated and how it's displayed when they hand you that machine, how it's displayed, and even how it's displayed on apps, right? So before, let's say I was on Uber Eats and I just looked today and they've made a change. Before, if I was going to order food, the final page, they say, would you like to tip your driver? And they use emojis, or they have words like, 10% or good, 15% amazing, 20% super, like
my
stuff.
hero.
My hero. There you go. Okay, so that's not allowed anymore. That's done.
That's not allowed anymore. They have to be the choices have to be presented neutral.
Yeah.
Neutral.
Yeah.
And the tip have the percentage have to be calculated before the taxes.
Gotcha.
And you also have the obligation of offering the consumer to choose himself the amount.
Yeah, that's right. It has to be there as one of the options, other, and it has to be the same size as the other buttons.
That's it. And no options are pre-selected.
Gotcha. And on that front, are these like I said, I noticed Uber changed it, right? But
we've noticed them by letter, formal letter. Skip the Dishes, Uber, and another one, and
DoorDash is the other one. Is it?
I don't recall.
No. Okay.
But Uber says, okay, we will change it, and they did. They did change it.
But it took the letter for.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
but,
gotcha.
They're big, and it's a big issue on that specific case.
I have a question about rain checks, right? So if there's a sale and they don't have it, is there anything in the law that they have to give you a rain check?
No. The provision was those that I've talked before, and the rain check came as a way of convenience for consumers, but they're not obliged to give it.
So a store does it because they want to create goodwill with a customer. It is not required.
That's it.
Okay. What do you think? Like, what do you think is the biggest problem happening right now on that front in Quebec? Where like complaints. I know in the break we were talking about cars. There's a lot of complaints about cars. What are some of the issues on that front when it comes to cars and buying cars in the
cars?
province?
Cars are about for 25% of all the complaints.
25% of complaints to your office has to do with buying a car.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's years after years after years. They're top number one. So we've put a lot of efforts to be stricter and to have allies with the merchant associations of cars, to car dealers and so on, to put in place a mechanism for getting the picture better. For example, fees, illegal fees. The price advertised has to be the price you pay plus tax.
Is that the bigger problem? The advertising not matching what you get in the store, or is it the treatment? Because there's some shady tactics. Oh, you got to take this protection plan. You got to take this.
Yeah.
It's all of the above that's happening?
Yeah, sometimes they won't sell you the car because you didn't finance it or those type of situations, which are not acceptable. So we encourage consumers to make complaints when it happens.
One quick question from the text line on if you go to a restaurant and they put in a service charge for a party of 6 or more people, and then they add tax on top of that. Is a restaurant allowed to add a special surcharge for bigger groups, and then how they tax that?
They can, but it has to be transparent. It has to be said before you even sit down.
Before you sit down has to be clear.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Listen, Charles, thank you so much for being generous with your time. I do appreciate you answering these questions.
And my pleasure. I have to come back, I guess.
Absolutely. That's Charles Tanguay. He's a spokesperson for Quebec's Office of Consumer Protection.